I quit skincare completely. No cleansers, no exfoliants, no moisturizers, absolutely nothing. And after 10 weeks, it basically cleared my acne by like 90%, and it felt so damn good. But if you think about it, that shouldn't have actually worked. So I started to dig deeper. I started to try to figure out what actually causes acne and how come using skincare products actually made it worse for me. So if you watch this one video, you will finally figure out the real reason as to why you have acne and how to finally clear it for once and for all. So you got to understand the external problem of why you get acne. What's actually going on your skin for acne to appear? And what really is happening is your skin is too oily. And you might think, well, no, my skin's dry. But the reason why it's dry and the reason why your skin produces a ton of oil is because you're scrubbing it with cleansers, exfoliants, and you're putting moisturizers on top of it. You're completely throwing off your skin's natural balance of how much oil there should be. So when you put all these cleansers, all these products on your face, your body starts freaking out. It starts going, what the hell's going on? I thought I was meant to have, 50 oil or whatever, and now all of a sudden I've got 0. Let's fucking bump up the oil production and let's make a ton more. And that's why you then get acne. And so then you have this vicious cycle of having dry skin, then having oily skin because your skin's producing oil, and then you get acne, and then you use more products to fight the acne, but all it does is just ends up repeating this never-ending cycle until you break it. And so yeah, if you quit skincare, you might get more acne at the first couple weeks. For me at least, my face got so dry, I was having flakes all across my nose, my forehead. Every single time I'd raise my eyebrows, it would crack. It was so painful. But after a while, my body stopped freaking out, and it was like, oh, all this oil I needed, I no longer need, because the person that's controlling me is no longer a fucking retard. But even if you cut out skincare and you get past that point of your body no longer freaking out, I guarantee what's going to happen to you is you're still going to have acne. And you're going to be mad at me. Oh, Ali, you told me cut out skincare and I'd get clear skin. And now I still look fucked. I look even worse than I did before. And the reason why is because when you want to fix your skin, you're fighting 2 battles. One's the external, which we talked about. But if you don't solve the internal, then there's no use. Your body is still going to spam oil production like you really need it, even though you don't. And what I'm talking about internally isn't just eating a healthy diet, because people eat healthy diets and they still have acne. No, what I'm talking about is this cycle. Whenever you eat carbohydrates and high glycemic food like fruits and rice, pasta, bread, to transfer the carbohydrates, which turns it into glucose and then into your cells, it produces something called insulin. When your body produces insulin, it also increases oil production in your skin. So every single time you eat carbohydrates, even if they're healthy, it's still going to cause you acne. And so that's the second thing you got to understand is you can cut out the external, but now you have to win the internal battle. And how you're going to do that is by cutting out insulin spikes, because that's exactly how oil production starts. And if you think about it, what we're doing is basically the natural form of Accutane. If you've ever heard of Accutane, it's one of the most popular drugs out there for clearing acne. And sure, for some people it works. But here's why it works. It essentially completely cuts off oil production to your skin, completely eliminates your sebaceous glands, and it just leaves your skin bare and exposed. This is why the side effects include extremely sensitive skin and prone to sunburn. If you've ever had Accutane, because I have, and you're in the sun, you get sunburnt in like 30 minutes. It's game over. Second thing, you get super dry, chapped lips. And third thing, your skin overall just gets super fucking dry. Now, if Accutane helped with mosquitoes, I might fucking try it. So if you want some quick food tips on how to reduce your insulin spikes so you can get rid of your acne, this is what I've been doing for the past 4 weeks that I've been on this like modified keto diet. And it's really simple. You don't even need to eat keto and you can still make changes while eating carbohydrates, which by the way, I just said spike your insulin, but you're still not going to get the same effect of like having a ton of acne. First off, you never want to eat carbs alone. Every single time a new person joins my free community, I always ask them what's their diet like, and they say healthy. Okay, what are you actually eating? They tell me their breakfast, and every single time it's oats, with a banana, with some milk, with some fucking yogurt, all of these things. And I'm like, you are on a fasted stomach for 8, 9, 10 hours. And the first thing you do is eat carbohydrates. That is like not eating for a day and then just taking 3 shots of tequila back to back. You're gonna get fucking hammered. And this is what you're basically doing to your insulin. You're just spiking the shit out of your insulin because you're on a fasted stomach. So use that same analogy. Whenever you're hungry and you want to eat carbs, think about it. If you were to drink a beer when you're hungry, you would get absolutely hammered. And that same effect is going to happen when you eat carbs, but just for your insulin. Now, there's a couple more things about carbs you got to know. And the first one is, let's say you do have carbs in your meal. A couple weeks ago, I had a meal and it had a ton of sweet potato fries. I had this big ass sweet potato, chopped it up, olive oil, salt, pepper, air fryer, boom, fire. And I was so tempted to eat them first thing. But you know what would have happened if I did that? That would have been the equivalent to me cracking open a can of Coca-Cola. My body would have reacted the same way. Sweet potatoes are high glycemic. They're carbohydrates. They've got a ton of carbs. It was just going to spike my insulin. So what I did instead was I ate my proteins and my fats first. And more so, I ate fibrous vegetables before those. So when you eat fibrous vegetables before your meals, that's bell pepper, lettuce, carrots, cucumber, it essentially coats your intestines with a protective layer. So when the carbs follow, it doesn't impact your bloodstream, your blood sugar level as much. And then once you eat the fibrous vegetables, you eat the proteins and the fats. So I had an avocado, I had steak, I had eggs, I ate that. And then I finished my meal with the carbs. I was already full. I had ground beef in that meal too. I had fucking 1,600 calories and I was full. It felt like dessert eating the sweet potato fries. And I didn't wake up with breakouts. I didn't have a breakout for the next week. But if I ate that first, it would have been a different story. And also, when you eat that carb, if you don't eat it alone and instead you eat it with some sort of protein or fat, like hummus, which is a great example, and avocado too, if you have that, then it's going to significantly slow down the release of glucose into your bloodstream and significantly lower that insulin spike. And the biggest issue here that people run into is they always say, well, what about snacks? What do I do with snacks, bro? Give me some good pre-workout snacks, bro. Give me some Rice Krispie, 300 grams of sugar, carbohydrate snack, man. If you eat snacks, you're either a fucking toddler or you're just not eating enough. If you're hungry, you eat a meal. The meal should fill you up, and so then you're no longer hungry. Then when you get hungry again, you eat another meal. Why do you need snacks? If you're hungry throughout the day, you just need to eat bigger meals. And when you do get hungry, eat a fucking meal. Get this idea out of your head that you need snacks. You a fucking baby? And so once you focus on both of those things with the diet and the external, how you do it correctly is basically by just using cold water. You don't use cleansers, exfoliants, moisturizers, none of that shit. You just stick to cold water, and when you're in the shower once a day, you basically turn it from hot to cold, and then neck up, you just use cold water. And that way you're not going to dry out your skin with all this bullshit cleansers and hot water. All you're doing is using cold water. So when you combine that with fixing your diet through managing your insulin spikes, it's like you've got the best of both worlds. You've literally got your oil production being solved internally and externally at the same time. You're not missing any steps. All you have to do is wait for your body to correct itself, because it's not trying to give you acne. All it is an internal reaction to something that you're doing to it. And this is only scratching the surface of how you get rid of your acne. There's a ton of myths out there about clearing your acne, and honestly, it was just so annoying to see all these people be completely misled by big pharma and these Korean skincare guru dermatologists. So I created a free community and I put together all of the biggest myths in the skincare industry about removing your acne. And people do this shit all the time thinking it's good for their skin, but it's not.